So one of the things that's been coming up for both buyers and sellers because of how the market is, sellers wanting to stay in the house for a little bit after escrow closes. The reason why this comes up is because sellers are trying to buy and sell their house, right? So they need to sell their house in order to buy their house, but what happens is people don't necessarily want to move twice, right? So that's kind of hard. So then what they want to do is they want to stay in their house for a little bit of time after escrow closes. There are two ways this can be done, but do know that this is something that the sellers are going to have to negotiate with the buyers. So with the buyers, some buyers may be a little bit uncomfortable with this, but it's really not a big deal because it does get totally documented in all the real estate documents, all the legal forms, right? So there are two ways that this can be done. The first is called the seller in possession, which this is for sellers who are going to be in their house for like 29 days or less. And then there is another one where it's called the residential lease after sale, where the sellers can stay in a longer than 29 days. So it's for 30 days or more. So the difference between the two is that sellers will get tenants' rights in the home after 30 days. So for staying in the house after close of escrow for 29 days or less, sellers do not get tenants' rights. If they stay in for 30 days or more, they do. So that's a huge difference. A deposit is collected in both instances. Just like when you rent an apartment, you have to put a security deposit. Same thing for either of these scenarios. So the first way is seller in possession, 29 days or less, and no tenants' rights are given. Not a big deal. So the second one is the residential lease after sale. And again, this is for 30 days or more. And in this case, sellers do get tenants' rights. The way it works is the form is, because it's called a residential lease after sale, it is a formal lease that is filled out, and it's more like a tenant-landlord relationship. So the lease is totally filled out. The seller has to take care of the property in the same way. Everything should be as it was during the sale. But what it does is it gets sellers a little bit more time to stay in the house if they're worried that, you know, they may not get a replacement home in time. So that's it. Those are the two ways. There's a lot that goes into it to think about, to negotiate, has to be agreed upon. There's rent and stuff to figure out. Just something else to know.